Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yiners. This episode 237. What up, what up, what up, Big Mike?
What up, homie? Oh
Oh,
man,
just
I
living the
tell you.
fucking dream, brother.
Oh, me
We got
too.
issues. We have issues, Mike.
I,
We
I,
have technological issues. And I
all on
don't
all on your
I
end.
don't possess the I don't possess the skills to fix these issues, Mike.
Speaking of issues, they just went off on your computer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be going, back and forth with this computer throughout the duration of the show.
Oh,
So
this is
just act like it's not happening. If you see it happening, I'm gonna try to be as discreet as I can so we don't bore the viewers with this bullshit. But this
I'm
technology,
sorry, dude, but that is so funny.
the
Only you, my man, only you can have these issues.
I mean the tech issue is crazy because I have three, count them, one, two, three different computers, Mike. I literally have the internet shooting into the computer. I mean, you couldn't be any more in the computer. It's raw dicking it right into the computer, and I'm still having issues. I can't even imagine the technological issues, Mike, that we're having. It's insane to me. This is like day five. We just need a guy. Let's get a guy. Do you know a guy?
I don't know a guy. Well, I know a guy, but not for that stuff.
I mean, I'm just not the guy for that. I don't know what I don't know. We're like I said, we're going on day five here, and I'm
I don't know
still
what to tell
scratching
you.
my head
You look like the
like a
little monkey
primate.
that looks for its like picking its own bugs off its head and eating.
Well, that is me, but that's besides the point, Mike. I just don't know. I'm losing my mind. Um, a couple of things I want to talk about before we get
All
started
right.
today.
Yeah.
There was last night overnight nearby at a bridge close to the studio here.
Mm-hmm.
There was an automobile accident, and in this
Yes.
accident, there was a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and the 15-year-old got killed. My issue is this, Mike. Now, let me start by saying I consider myself to be, I pride myself on being somewhat of an asshole. But on the other hand, I also pride myself on having some sort of compassion for other human beings. I try
Mm-hmm.
to anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm reading through the thread of comments that people were making about this accident that happened, and I don't know, 95% of them are just going off on, these kids are criminals. They shouldn't have been out in the middle of the night. They shouldn't have stole the car, which, of course, I think everybody knows is the case. Most people do keep their kids in and out of the situation, but nothing is foolproof. And like as well as I do, when we used to go out, and you
Mm-hmm.
got yourself definitely got myself into some shit that I would never
Yeah.
want to get back to my parents if I could avoid that. But I couldn't believe, Mike, and I'm going, and it's pissing me off. And I'm going on and on, and they're going on in these messages. And I thought, for fuck's sake, I mean, even if you were the judge, the jury, and the executioner, which they're not,
Yeah.
it's not your what about these kids' siblings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say that you're so great and you could judge the parents of these people and know everything that's going on in everybody's lives constantly. But what about the little brother, the little sister? And I don't know if these are really serious, real people. With the 9-year-old little sister of the 15-year-old boy
Yeah.
who they, he probably basically raised, and again, I'm speculating as well, but not in a malicious way. Uh, and grew up together and played together every day. And these kids decided to make a bad decision. And something like this happens, Mike. And I don't get for the life of me. And they're fighting.
Yeah.
And these people are fighting with the people who are trying to keep it cool, to keep it from getting ugly. And I was so close. I was so close to just jumping in. But what's it going to do if I jump in and somebody, these people are just going to be assholes no matter
Oh
whatever the
yeah.
case is. They're going to fight me, or they're
Mm-hmm.
going to fight whoever sticks up. To me, it's just a compassion for other human beings. I would think, Mike. I don't like I said, I don't know this person, but did you feel bad when you felt bad when George Floyd dealt with the situation? You had your people to come out and said, well, he was on drugs. It doesn't matter.
That's not yeah. Like
That's not your job. That's not your
yeah.
position. If you want to have those conversations with your idiotic friends, text them, get on the horn, and
Yeah.
have it with them. To get out there in public and make these kind of statements about
Hmm.
these people, I think is absolutely uncalled for, Mike.
Yeah.
And again, you know what you do, you could say, they have the right to their opinion, and ultimately that's I respect that part of it. I respect not what they're saying. I don't respect what they're saying, but I do respect their opinion. They can express themselves however they'd like. But it was really bothering me, man. And I wanted to get on and talk about it a little bit this morning because, like I said, I have kids in that age range, and
Yeah.
and not all families are together, and not if Joey, like I said, we did so much bad shit when
Oh
we were
yeah.
kids,
God.
and they decide to go out and hey, let's take the car. And mom works two jobs and she's just trying to sleep to get up for the next morning to go to
Hmm.
work. And maybe dad lives somewhere else. It just it pissed me off in a sense. Not so much that it was the stuff that was being said. It was so much the volume,
Yeah.
how everyone just kept clinging to the people that really was going off on these people. And again, it was unfortunate, Mike, the way the roads were, is the black ice. And if you're a kid, you don't know what you're doing and you're driving. I
Hmm.
can understand how bad things can happen because, again, I've been through that. Um, I just have a problem with these people. And
Hmm.
what do you do? On one hand, it's like, okay, you know what, they form their opinion. You're just supposed to move on and scroll on, and a part of me is okay with that.
These people are
But
they think any type of criminal offense should be automatically be met with death.
yeah,
If you think about it, like oh they did something, they got killed. Oh okay, well that's what you get. Like no, that's
the
not
only
how this
people,
works. It's not how society works. It's like I don't know, like there's a lack of empathy for other people. Like can you just say oh man that sucks and then move on? Everyone has like social media and like what we're doing. Like everyone just thinks that everyone wants to hear what you have to say. Oh, how about
everybody's
you
Bill
just
O'Reilly all of a sudden.
God
Everybody's
don't
Carl Tuckerson or whatever the fuck his name is.
this spouting off nonsense to be heard, to gain an audience, to get a reaction out of people. It's like these people are stupid. Like it's not like these kids went out on a killing spree. They went
Yeah.
joyriding, and then
Yeah,
this happened. You're cheering their death. That says a lot more about you than it does about them,
absolutely.
or even their parents that you are trying to judge. You are like the worst person out of this
You
group.
better be
You
perfect.
are the worst,
If you were
exactly. But
if you
you
were
have better done nothing.
guilty,
Your kids have better done nothing. No one in your
if you
family has better done anything wrong.
you're right. If you are on judging these people, you are just as
Hmm.
bad. If you're like I said, you better be perfect.
Yeah.
You better be walking on water. You better have raised your kids to never to never ever
Hmm.
ever ever get into a bad situation.
Yeah.
Well, my kids don't steal cars. Well, you know what? Good for you. Because you know what, somewhere else out there somebody's kid did, somebody died.
Yeah. Are you okay, little man?
So that's where I'm at, Mike. That's where I'm at.
Me too. I hate these people. They always have something stupid to say. Not even like you. Like if you want to try and make a witty comment, leave that to a professional comedian that will you think is going to say one thing and turns out and sets something different to lighten the situation. How about if you can't do that, sit this one out with your shitty comments, people.
We don't even know that the families are you'd imagine
Yeah.
that somebody would be contacted by now. But people are online first thing in the morning. You don't know what's going on. You don't even know if these
Yeah.
people's families even
Hmm.
know.
Like these people that are sitting here and judging these people, like, oh, they're terrible this, terrible that. Why are you on Facebook at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning? Shouldn't
Yeah,
your ass be at work then? If you're one of these people that wants to be all high and mighty, shouldn't you be at work? Shouldn't you be
yeah,
taking care of your family? Shouldn't you be making sure your perfect children aren't doing anything wrong?
yeah. Better go check your kids. They might
Oh,
be doing something.
yeah,
They might be doing something.
I guarantee you, like these people that are saying this, yeah, I have a feeling there's a high probability that they beat their kids, allegedly.
Mm. Um,
I hate I hate people. Normally, like I'm the asshole on Facebook and Twitter
And
and
that's
stuff.
what
But
I said.
you don't fuck around with shit like that
I can
unless it's like
appreciate.
I don't know if it was a grown ass adult doing something stupid and they suffer the consequences. Yeah, these are kids, kids.
But even if
It's
that be the
they're supposed
case,
to
Mike,
grow and learn.
you still have compassion for somebody who dies. I don't care what the situation is, and unless it's somebody like a killer who kills a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of people and then kills
Yeah,
himself. Obviously,
yeah,
that wouldn't fall in that category. But I tend to
yeah,
think that what if a kid dies, no matter what the situation, you probably shouldn't. It might be a little too early. In other
yeah.
words,
To
for
start judging because they're kids. My God, they can change.
yeah,
Oh, excuse me.
I like that. I like that segue, Mike. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to change like these kids. I'm gonna grow from this.
I'm not.
Hey, I got a text. We're moving into interview season. Like football is coming to an end.
Yes.
I got a text just this morning from somebody that we had on the show before. You want to take a couple guesses who wants to come on and do an interview, Mike?
Well, we already went through. Well, I already know people from Hit 'em Hard are coming on.
All right. We got Hit 'em Hard is in the works. Yes, that is very true, but that's not who I'm
Mm.
talking about. This person contacted me and they were on the show before. I'm under the suspicion that they are catching wind of a lot of our stuff that's afloat, that's out in social media world and TikTok world and everything else. They contacted me this morning out of nowhere and asked us if we were going to be, if we were interested in having them back on for interviews and whatnot.
I'm at a loss because it can be a lot of people.
It could be a lot of
And I don't
people.
want to say the wrong one.
Oh, you can say the wrong one. You say the wrong stuff all the time.
Oh, I say this wrong stuff all the time.
We just argue about it and then I move on.
let me just roll through people we've had on.
Please. Yeah.
Casey,
No.
Joker,
No.
LBR Trap,
No.
it was it first season or second season?
Second season.
Um,
It would probably fall into the upper echelon of our
Miss Pandora,
interviews. No, no,
Aurora Snow.
no. Which I am expecting a package from her, and you all will be able to enjoy that with us
Mm,
when we do get it. But that is no, that is not the
someone from the Whack Pack.
no. You're really running out of people, Mike.
I am too. I'm
Process of elimination. You're eventually going to get it.
now I'm just drawing blanks on names. I can picture faces.
You would know this person.
I know them.
I
don't know. Did you just spill the beans? I'm at a
franchise
loss.
Shane Douglas,
No
the
way.
former face of the franchise of the ECW wrestling, contacted me
No
just about
way.
45 minutes before we got on the air this morning and wanted to see if we were interested in talking to him again. And I have yet to get him back. I wanted to square it up with you in a professional environment where nobody
Professional
else
environment on air. Heck
yes, yes, for us and everybody that loved and involved with this show, you all get to be part of this decision. Mike,
I'm
you know
pumped.
what? Because the last time, if you think about it, we only had him on the phone call interview.
Yeah, we were only able to do the phone call.
So this time, like he would be, he would be on in video, and we get to see him, and vice versa. So I think I'm all about him. Like heading into interview season. That's probably somebody we could get up there pretty quick and be a good interview.
I would like that. Yes, because I was not able to interview Mr. Shane Douglas last time.
Right. So
now I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to go back and watch some wrestling.
Yeah, man.
It's like such a chore for me, man.
And a lot of things going on in wrestling too.
Yeah, there's a lot going on too, man.
On
Sami
every
Zayn
level.
Betraying the bloodline.
Vince getting involved back in everything. And,
yes.
The sale of the, so it's very interesting.
Wild
I'd love to
see going on. Yeah.
Shane Douglas's point of view, because you recall from the last show, he was very informative and he's long-winded too. So, I'm sure we could get a lot of interesting scoop.
The less talking I have to do, I think everyone agrees it's the best for business.
That is the policy here at the show.
Or you let me talk enough and I stick my foot in my mouth.
That's the second policy. That's policy A and B.
They kind of contradict each other.
Yeah.
But I'll eventually get there with my stupidity. I'll call him by
That's
the wrong name all the time during the
oh
interview.
yeah. Mike, a couple big news things just this morning. We noted yesterday, possibly that Mr. Cam Heyward and Pat Fryermuth might be filling in for the
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs that are going to the Pro Bowl. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about Muth at the moment, but I do know as of this morning, Cam did get the call. Will be. Cam Heyward will be. Let me fix this real quick here.
See, look. You
Yeah.
mention his name and the podcast goes awry.
Cam Haley or Cam Heyward. Look what you're doing, Mike. Stop it.
No, this look at him. Hayward's doing this to the
Every time I said his
podcast.
name, let's try this one more time. Ready? Cam
Clam.
Heyward. Clam. But Cam Heyward did get the call, Mike. He will be at the games this weekend. We'll call them the games because I'm not quite sure what to make of the All Pros weekend. As far as I know, there will be festivities, competitions, things like that, and a flag football game to finish it off for the weekend. And Cam will be there. Still, I don't know what the deal is with the tight end situation, whether they did pick somebody or whether Muth still has a chance. But Mike, Pat Fryermuth, one of two tight ends in NFL history
Mm-hmm.
to have 60 catches or more in their first two seasons. You tell me this guy isn't going to be a Hall of Famer one day? I think you're crazy.
I don't know about the Hall of Fame part, but like one of the better tight ends in the league, yeah, he'll be there up there quick. He's vastly approaching that level. Um, I I just I don't see how Cam makes the Pro Bowl. I don't. If you look at stats, oh, it's a good season. If you look at the actual play, where those stats were accumulated, it was not a good season.
Yeah.
He disappeared for the majority of the games. My guy, he was not there at all. Like you would go through games like, did he do anything? Did he do anything? Did he make a play? Did he affect the game in a positive manner? No. Not until like the last 4 games of the year, he finally decided to show up. I just don't get it. I don't get it. This, once again, the Pro Bowl is a popularity contest. So it was put a popular name in there who has decent stats on the page. Let's get him in here.
Excuse me. Yes. No, that's what happened, Mike. There's definitely more, in my opinion, deserving defensive tackles that could be in this game that made a bit more of a impact. The thing was, you're right, Mike. If you look at his numbers, that's what it breaks down to.
They're good numbers.
The defense, he was just part of a defense that ended up pulling their shit together at the right time.
Yeah.
And was it what Cam was doing? I don't know. I just think he was a part of the whole, which, like I said, they did really good at the second half of the year. They didn't do terrible all year long. If you think about it, you take them 2 games out that but I agree, Mike. I don't know. I think if anybody should be there, it should be Highsmith going in place of TJ more than Cam going in the All Pro game. And I also think that Fryermuth should get the nod as well. But like I said, I'm not sure who else out there is in the pool of players that they're picking from.
I'm trying to think of like AFC tight ends that will be above him, and there's
Mark
not
Andrews,
that many.
But he's already in.
Mark Andrews already in. I just don't know. I don't know. I think what would kill him would be his touchdown production drop this year. So it might hold him out, and they're just on that level. But I wouldn't be surprised like next year he's going to be in that conversation like him. Mark Andrews, Waller.
Numbers, I mean, they didn't suffer.
Kelsey,
they were still pretty impressive numbers for a tight end.
Oh yeah.
And you talk about a player that's lacking due to good quarterback play. Mark Andrews could have certainly fell in that category as well with Baltimore with their situation. So I don't think that would be enough to keep this fellow out. Like I said, he has 60 plus catches in his first 2 seasons. Him and only one other person in the history of the game has done that. If anything, I'd say that this guy deserves to go, but like we all know, it is a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Once they break that threshold, Mike, and they become the guy, it's hard to get them out.
Yeah. Because like I said, man, like I think this season coming up is going to be the season that more people start talking about Pat Fryermuth. What I mean by that is like more people on the national level of like the NFL Network and ESPN talking more and more about Pat Fryermuth. Yeah, and
once that happens, he'll be in
there. Then you go off. Then people are like, oh yeah.
Pat Fryermuth's one of the best.
Like we've known that since his rookie year. Yeah.
So there you go. I hope since Cam made it, I hope Fryermuth makes it one way or another. I mean, it's going to make me see what's going on for a couple of reasons. I want to see how this plays out. I want to see if
Yeah.
they're doing challenges. I want to see. So I'll be tuned in like a lot of people this weekend, just out of curiosity. But as I'm tuning in, I like to see more of the guys with my uniform on. We know that Minka's going to be there. We know that Cam's going to be there. So 2 guys on defense, 1 guy, if we could get him in there on the offense, that'd be great. Fill in for Travis Kelce, of course, who's
Yeah.
playing in the Super Bowl.
That bum.
I'll be tuned in, man. I'm going to be checking it out.
That bum Travis Kelce. What's he ever done?
Yeah, right.
If it wasn't for Gronk, he'd be the tight end of this era.
Yeah. Couple speculations, Mike, that we could smash. We could take a hammer and smash right at the moment. Yesterday, there was a lot of talk of Kellen Moore after getting released, fired by the Cowboys, possibly coming and taking over role for Matt Canada. But that isn't going to play out because he got he got hired by the Chargers. Kellen Moore is going to the Chargers, where they need a lot of help because you know what? You put together a good offensive idea, a good game plan with Justin Herbert.
Oh,
You're going to really get some things going. And, you know, if you could build a little bit of a team around him, San Diego, Los Angeles, they have potential to be a pretty good team. They snuck in they got into the playoffs and give them a couple more pieces, see what they could do.
Like, my God, if their head coach doesn't decide to play Mike Williams in a meaningless game and get him hurt to where he's not in that playoff game, let's lose your best receiver who, like, when he's out of the lineup, you have a losing record. When he's in the lineup, you have a winning record. Wouldn't you do everything to keep him healthy going into the playoffs? It's Brandon Staley. He frustrates me, man. He boneheaded move after boneheaded move. I just don't get it.
I would, and like this, like you said, you kind of have to go with what's working. And if you, you're ignoring issues like the guy that you were 10-1 with when he's in, and 1-5-1 when he's out, I'd be wheeling him out in a fucking gurney no matter what the situation was, because he's probably, if he's that big of an impact, he's probably going to be just as good if he's not 100% as a lot of these guys are at 100% because they're just that kind of guy. They're an impact maker.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. Why you let the guy get hurt in a meaningless game?
Yeah, they'll learn. If they're going to be a competitor, they'll put it together. Yeah. Mike, there are, you know what? I don't know what team he plays for, but I just seen this either last night or this morning. Steeler late draft pick Chris Oladokun is in the Super Bowl. Mike, who does he play for? Please update me.
Picked up by oh my God, I haven't thought about that name.
Chris Oladokun might be getting a ring, Mike.
Kansas City Chiefs, baby.
There you go. Chris Oladokun, another connection. Or I believe it was our 7th round pick.
7th round pick 241. We could have had Brock flipping Purdy.
We could have Brock Purdy. We could have had, right. So there you go. Another connection.
He's on their practice squad. Yeah. So yeah.
And also, I do want to mention there's a gentleman named Justin Watson. He's a receiver for the Chiefs. He is also from the area. He's from South Fayette. I failed to mention him yesterday. Yes.
I forgot about him.
I did too, entirely.
Ooh.
So there's a lot.
This Western PA, man, is a hotbed.
We love our football, man, and we love these kids. And you know what? It's going to bring even more people in. Even though the Steelers ain't in there, like you said, Mike, it's a hotbed, so it's going to draw people in an area that already is big into the Super Bowl and things like that. So I can't wait, Mike. We're 11 days away, give or take. At this point, Mike, in 2023, there are only 4. I know this is ridiculous, but there's only 4 undefeated teams in 2023. One of them being the Chiefs. If they lose, that will leave three undefeated teams, which will be who? The Falcons, the Lions, and the Steelers. 3 undefeated teams. If the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl in 2023, man, we'll be undefeated for months.
That is awesome. So the teams who won their last game of the year before the playoffs.
Yes. Basically,
teams that couldn't make it
to
the
Lions,
playoffs.
The Falcons, and then a few playoff teams.
Yeah, all the teams that are on Twitter making fun of their divisional rivals for losing in the playoffs. I like that. It's like,
but they are undefeated, Mike. Any way you slice it, you can't hurt my feelings. Oh, this computer can hurt my feelings.
A computer can hurt your feelings. There you go.
Hurt my feelings.
Yeah, Roblox. Be good.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not cutting any of this. This is just gold right
Yeah,
here.
no, leave it on. It's all
Oh,
good,
fuck
man.
yeah. The bad video, terrible audio. Heck yeah. We're
Mm.
going all out today.
We are going all out.
Like, my God. I had just, your computers are making me mad because think I have everything nice and pretty for us. And this is what you do to me.
The thing is, I can't imagine what it would be between three computers. You know what I mean? That's why we need a guy. We need a guy.
Uh, I think we need to buy you a new computer. I think that's what it is.
We need a guy. Last time
Nah.
we had a guy, he ended out. I don't want to go on about the guy.
Yeah, let's move on.
Big news, big news, big news. Last night, Mike, Pitt, the ACC football schedule was released.
I
I have
saw that.
Pitt's schedule right here in front of me. Let's do some talking about the Pitt Panthers, Mike. Coming in April 15th is
Mm-hmm.
the Blue Gold game. If you want to get down to Acrisure Stadium, I think it's 1:00 on that date. It's the Blue Gold game. Check that out. And then also, Mike, we have a dozen games other here also to talk about. I got to tell you right off the top, I'm not real thrilled with the schedule making this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell you why. I think that Alabama kind of picks cupcakes a lot of times for their and not only Alabama, a lot of teams they pick cupcakes for their exhibition games, and they run it up on these teams, and
Yeah.
then you look back months from now, and you're like, well, they beat Appalachian State 54-0, so you just throw it into the category these guys are really good.
Yeah.
So it starts off with Wolford, which I think
Yeah.
is an amazing game to schedule. I would schedule Wolford every year, just as that kind of a game to kind of get going, get your wheels turning,
Yeah.
and put up some numbers. Then, second game of the year, right out the gate, we play Cincinnati, who wasn't as good, obviously, as they were last year, making it to the playoff,
Yeah.
doing really good things. They fell off. They lose some players in draft. That's fine. But Cincinnati, you don't know what to make of this team. It's like Tennessee. Is it going to be a good game? Is it going to be a bad game? Is it going to be a good team? They bring that early in the season. You don't know. And again, that's when the Pitt Panthers often fall to some of these teams early in the season because you just don't know. Then you go to West Virginia,
Backyard brawl,
backyard brawl, and you remember how this year's went with the finish, the way that finished out in the game, the interception, and MJ takes it to the house.
Yeah.
And then you get into your division, your conference play, North Carolina, Virginia at Virginia Tech, Louisville at home, at Wake Forest, at Notre Dame. Oh, geez, let's throw another one in here. Let's throw another one in here for a team. The past 2 seasons, you lose to Eastern Michigan. You lose to these early games that you should win.
Yeah.
Let's throw Notre Dame in there. Why don't we?
Why not?
Let's throw USC in at this point.
Well, hey, at least Notre Dame, you guys will be on a primetime game.
I don't want to get killed by
Be on NBC, baby.
We always play Notre Dame good. I don't mind that. I like a Pitt Notre Dame game because we do have history with the Big East and things like that. But I don't know. I'm just like I said, you're trying to build this up. You want to make it look better. I think you'd think for a lot of these kids coming in or for recruiting and things like that.
Well, that's why you need to play these bigger teams.
Yeah, what if you get killed 35-7? I mean, that don't look good.
Now you got to play them.
You got to create the illusion that you're good, at least if you're not going to be good.
That's what Pitt has done the last 2 years is create the illusion that they're good.
They're actually they have the second most wins in the conference, only one win behind Clemson over the past 2 years. Also, Mike, moving on, Florida State, we play at home. A lot of people are telling me Florida State is going to be a really good team.
Yeah, they were 10-3 last year. What am I saying?
Florida State are the cicadas of the ACC. Every 17 years, they put out that championship team, and that's what a buddy of mine. Somebody sent that the other day. They said that they were going to kill Spit. I guess we're Spit. Pitt is Spit.
Pitt ain't. You know what? Bleep.
And I had said, I forgot. It's like I forgot these guys were even in the conference. Sorry.
They haven't been, they really have not been relevant in a long while.
No, they have. Like I said, they only do it for this short little period of time and they go away for a while. And believe me, he's there every time it happens. He's there in my face with this shit. Next one, Mike, this is a big one for me. I like this one because I might go. This is the away game against Syracuse. Now, this is the Yankee Stadium game that I was hoping for
Yes.
Bull
Yeah.
season. It marks the 100 years since these two teams first met at Yankee Stadium. Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Yankee Stadium, the pinstripe game. I like this. If I ever do anything this year, this might be the one thing that I do because I really want to get up there to the Yankee Stadium and check this game out.
Yeah.
You know that I was very interested in getting up there if they did play the Bull game up there, which they
Hmm.
didn't. But certainly in the back of my mind on that one.
I wasn't
Then they
yawning about the game. I'm sorry. I was just yawning in
Oh,
general.
good man. I forgot that you were here. Then the
Yeah,
next
I know you're going off your soliloquy about Pitt.
next game, Mike, the 11th game of the year, Boston College at home, always a winnable game. And then finally, they finish up against Duke. The at Duke is
They
the
should
finale of the
trounce
season.
Duke, and that's going to be the one that they lose. They're definitely going to lose that game. I'm
Mike,
calling it right now.
there's a handful of games I can see them fighting to get that. I think maybe seven wins, maybe five losses out of the schedule. I really
Oh,
do.
mm,
I see a Notre Dame loss. I could see a Florida State loss. I mean, if you're going to beat Wake Forest and Syracuse, I
yeah,
would be surprised. So maybe one of them. That's
yeah,
just the second half of the season. You don't know what you're getting with Cincy. West
yeah.
Virginia is going to be out for blood because of how last year's game went, and the
Mm-hmm.
backyard brawl is back. It's going to be a big thing. And you know how those fans are down there.
Yeah.
Now we're going down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leaves you with North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Louisville. Which, if you beat all three of them, you might still be in decent shape. But what if you lose one of them games? So
Yeah.
I don't see it being a great year, Mike. I see it. Some of the transfer portal was very successful for Pitt,
Yeah.
actually. But let's throw this into a ball and throw it against the wall and see how it splats. I guess because I think that it could be a tough season, Mike.
I don't know. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to do well. You're actually being very pessimistic for your Pitt team, and I don't like that, man. You're usually all amped up for Pitt. You get Phil Jerkovich, baby, coming back
Yeah, I
into the
know.
area.
I'm excited about Phil.
Well, Penn
Uh,
State's schedule was also released.
Let me go on one quick thing about Penn State before
Yeah.
you go on about Penn State.
No. You're good. You're good. I just didn't know if you knew their schedule was out.
Penn State's basketball team
Mm-hmm.
has a guy who put out 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. I'm going to get you his jersey because his name is Jalen Pickett. I got to get you a nice Penn State
Well,
Pickett.
finally, we got it. We got a good picket around.
But go ahead, entertain us with your Penn State
All right,
knowledge.
Penn State. We open against the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Ooh,
We don't open up with a cream puff like
yeah, we
Pitt.
want Wolford, baby.
We open up with our cream puff on week 2. We have dignity and respect for the game. We wait till week 2, baby. We play Delaware. Apparently, Joe Flacco's coming back.
Yes,
Then we travel to Illinois. It's always a weird game for me there. I every time I watch it, I think we're gonna lose there. It's the way their field looks. Feels like you should lose there. Then we get the Iowa Hawkeyes at home. Then we play
it's a
at
tough game.
Northwestern. At Northwestern, for me, they play that spread offense still, I think, and that always freaks me out. I always think we're going to lose against them, but we tend to win. Then we got the powerhouse that is UMass, baby. UMass. A
Okay.
nice little palate cleanse for when we travel to Columbus the following week and get our asses whooped by Ohio State. So then we follow that up. We got a home game against Indiana. That's nice little another palate cleanser. You're doing good, doing good. Get Indiana, travel down to Maryland. You know, should beat them. Then we
Beat
got
the
a home game.
Terps.
Yep. Then a home game against Michigan. Hopefully, so it goes a lot better than last year. Then, we have Rutgers at home. Nice little palate cleanse before we travel up to East Lansing to play Michigan State for the Battle of the Land Grant Trophy. So
Does
that's going
that
to be
wrap it up?
that wraps it up. And, we have the new starting quarterback. Drew Alar will be starting at quarterback. He's from Medina, Ohio. So hopefully he can go into Ohio State and be like, why'd you let me leave and go in there and whoop their asses?
It's gonna
I
be
don't
so
know.
weird not seeing that guy, the one that's been quarterback out there, the
Oh,
one
God, I know.
he had a good decade up there.
He did too. But I don't know, man. We have a good running game with that Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton, really good running attack. Those two both were freshmen last year, and they just ran over everyone. Pretty decent receiving core. Tight end core is pretty good. So, hopefully upgrade that offense on defensive line. Looking at Penn State last year, I think how many games did they win last year?
Penn State,
Penn State, I have it right here.
10
11
and
and 2,
2,
11 and 2. I
11
think
and 2.
I think we're gonna drop down just a little bit. I think it's gonna be like a 9-10 win season for Penn State.
Yeah, I think Michigan and Ohio State's obviously always going to be the big ones. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're
I
going to
think I
mark
think
yourself
those two are
down,
losses, and then there might be like an upset mixed in here, like
yeah,
one of these away games where I think it's just something's going to happen. You got a true sophomore starting at quarterback who really has a whole lot of playing time, has a lot of talent, a lot of potential, but I just have a feeling like one of those away games against one of those teams you should beat. There's something weird's going to happen. Like
I
that
think the
team's just going to
9. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
one of those defenses is just going to be fired up, throwing weird exotic looks at the kid, and it's going to be just enough to trip him up.
I like the 9 win plateau for them. It gives you a little wiggle room because, of course, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you could kind of always chalk up Ohio State and Michigan, in your
Yeah.
preseason, trying to get an idea what your record's
Mm-hmm.
going to be. You could always throw them into losses right off the top.
Yeah.
You throw another team in there, another, like you said, nine is a safe place for me. If they
Yeah.
have a
Not
really
like
good,
9 to 10,
if
9
they're
to
playing
10.
strong, I
Mm-hmm.
think they'll finish with a 10. But like you said, if
Yeah.
there's something along the way that trips them up, 9, not
Yeah.
much
They,
lower
they
than
have a
that.
lot of players on that defense are coming back this year. I think Manny Diaz is coming back as D coordinator, so that helps too.
Yeah. One. Okay, that's where I would. Mike. Oh, jeez, Louise, you got me so thrown off here. Well, we talked about a Dolakun a moment ago, Mike, but one player that we could take off of our list, and I don't even know if we're making a change back from college to the pros. I'm just going to bring this up because
Okay.
um, Jalen Ramsey, holy contract. Jalen Ramsey, Mike, signs a 5-year deal with the Rams for $20 million a year. $20 million a year, $25 million signing bonus, 71.2 guaranteed. Mike, he is on pace for over $100 million with this contract
That
with
is
the Rams.
insane.
So anybody that was speculating that Jalen Ramsey could end up in our defensive backfield, you would have just lost, 80% of the rest of the team. And that's the
That
thing that kind of concerns me about a team like the Rams. What do now you got to figure out how to pay the rest of your guys.
that's nuts. I, I don't get it. I
That's a lot to give a guy.
that's a lot of money, and for someone of his age, that is just insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So there you have that. Jalen Ramsey will not be a Steeler ever
I I,
unless his
I don't
head
know.
falls off. His head falls off, they
I
might give him
hate
to
you.
us.
Yeah, there's no way he's coming to Pittsburgh. I just I can't. I don't see it happening, and that much money, man, because he's getting up there in age, isn't he?
I mean, he's probably in his
He's
prime.
twice 28 years old, and they signed him for what,
Yeah,
5 years?
that's a nice age.
33, but is he still going to be worth that much at 33?
Oh, 33 and dump his ass or make a deal where somebody else has to
Yeah,
pay it.
I wonder like that contract's probably gonna be like most of them like front loaded for like the first 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Get a lot of that guaranteed money in the first year, and then some more in the second year, and then after that, the dead cap space would be a lot easier to manage for them in the back end. And that's how a lot of these contracts are. You get the stuff front loaded and then cut them at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But I don't know. I wouldn't mind having them for like 2 to 3 years, but 5 years, that's a bit much. And for that price tag, whew,
And what are
I mean,
the
price
Rams still
tags
have
for
to
all these,
field a
but cornerback is one of the most important positions, so I
you
understand
got
it.
to field 52 other guys though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That would be the
they'll
challenge.
they'll
You're
find a way to. There's ways now to manipulate the cap and move money around. Like, our GM, man, Omar Khan, that was his job, was the cap guru. Like, teams wanted to get this guy to come in and manage their salary cap because that's how good he is at restructuring contracts. So like the rest of the league is figuring that out of how to move money around to get your cap space, turn in guarantees to signing bonuses and all this
and it has to be
fuzzy math.
a kick in the dick every time this guy gets hurt because the money that you're investing
Right?
into him,
Yeah.
you know? Every second he ain't out there, I would, if
Mm-hmm.
I was going to pay that kind of money, it would be to my franchise quarterback. Like you said, I mean, the corner is a very, very important position, but I mean, that money is unbelievable, Mike.
That is a lot of money, but they do have their money in their quarterback too. So it is what it
Baker,
is.
where's Baker going? He's not going to be back there next year, is he?
No, I don't think so. Stafford's not going anywhere.
Yeah, this is the best Stafford's ever had in his life. He ain't going
Oh
nowhere
no, fuck no. He's
after
not
the
going
stint in Detroit.
anywhere. Yeah.
It's a step up if you're on the subway from
Mm-hmm.
being on the Detroit team.
Yeah. Well, like Jalen did, he did play every game this year.
That's a plus.
He played 17 this year, 16 last year, 15 the year before. It was like in that 2019 where he played like 12 games where he
Yeah.
had that. So only and before that he played all 16 games. So he just had that one year where people started thinking, oh no, he's injury prone, but he's proved, hey, that was just a fluke year.
I tell you what, you gotta love that Jacksonville team early on with him and Miles Jack. That defense
Uh,
that beat
that
us in the playoffs last time.
that defense was good. People thought that was going to be the defense on the rise that was going to take
Yeah.
the league by storm. And that team just couldn't put it together, man. They couldn't get a quarterback.
Yeah, too bad it couldn't all fall in the same time period where they finally get their franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Blake
Now they have
Bortles
to
was not the guy.
no, no.
He's like one of those quarterbacks that was forced into the first round just because he was
Who
good
was that
coming out
other
of college.
guy that
Tannehill was the one
Garner
down in Miami.
Minshew?
Gardner Minshew, yeah,
He was
people.
not a bad quarterback.
No, but he's not one to lead you to the
No, he's
promised land.
not
People liked
right.
it just because he had that weird name, the weird mustache, and that
And he
and
was
that quirky.
surprisingly good for his
Yeah,
his
but
stature,
he
you
is
know.
what he is. He is
Yeah.
what he is. He's overblown. He's Jacksonville's version of Duck Hodges, but he's actually better than Duck Hodges.
Yeah. We should get Duck Hodges on the show, make fun
Oh
of him.
fuck no, fuck that guy. He's never a Duck
Quarterback
Hodges fan.
situation in San Francisco, which I think is hilarious.
I love it.
Hilarious because of how great they had things. I'm gonna just go down through the injuries, Mike, of the things that they had to go through this year and endure.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy, with his torn ulnar collateral ligament, he has
Oof.
surgery coming up for that. It's going to be a 6 month period of time that he's going to be
No,
have have to recover. I'm sorry.
is he getting the surgery? Because I read somewhere he was trying to see if he can avoid it and do therapy.
I think if it's surgery, it's a 6 month healing
Yeah.
thing, and if it's no surgery, it's like 8 to 10 months, give or
Oh
take.
wow.
So one way or another, it's going to affect him moving forward
Yeah.
because JG Jimmy Garoppolo broke his foot. Obviously, now he's a free agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally, they're the plan A. Trey Lance broke his fibula and he had ligament damage. He had 2 surgeries on his ankle. The
Mm-hmm.
guy had issues. So I don't want to ever see guys get hurt. It's not my thing.
No.
It's not the reason I watch the game, but I do laugh about the San Francisco 49ers quarterback situation. I'm glad that they were going with the punter or whoever it was that was playing quarterback in that last game, because if anybody deserves it, it's them. They had the good fortune for 99.9% of the season. And you know what? When it
Yeah.
mattered, it came back and bit them in the ass. I think that's funny. Again, ha!
The whole circumstance, it was like, oh, we lost our quarterback of the future who we thought was going to be our guy, Trey Lance. Oh no, we got to go with Jimmy G. Jimmy G's lighting him up. Oh no, we lost Jimmy G. Who the F's this guy? Who the F's Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy
Yeah.
rattles off 7 to 8 straight wins. You're like, oh, okay, we got a guy. Then
I would
boom,
have
he's
shit.
hurt. It's like if that other dude came in and led them to the upset,
Yeah. I would have
that would
shit
have
if
been
this guy
wild,
would have
man.
came. Yes. Jeremiah Johnson or whatever the freak his name was. Matter of fact, I think this guy played in either the XFL or the USFL. I think I came across that at some point. The guy that stepped in and played the other day for
Mm-hmm.
the 49ers, he was a former player in one of those two leagues. Mike, I got to give, I don't know. Let me
What do you?
ask you something. Now we're talking about quarterbacks, Mike.
Uh huh.
Now, Art Rooney came out and said that, we're going to try to keep Mitch Trubisky here.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best move to make with Mitch Trubisky? Be the guy, be the general manager. Tell me what your move would be if you were sitting at the table right now and they said, all right, let's take care of Mitch Trubisky.
I'm keeping him because we saw how important it is to have multiple quarterbacks who are able to come in and play on the roster.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like you just, my God, just look at our quarterback history. Ben, he would have
Mm-hmm.
periods where, 1, 2 games here, and you need that quarterback who can come in and play and win you a game or do enough to not lose you a game. We had that with Charlie Batch. We had that with
Byron.
Byron, thank you. We saw like, hey, look at the 49ers. What we just talked about. They went from Trey Lance to Jimmy G, and then hey, Brock Purdy. They found someone in Brock Purdy, but they had, two who they thought were two quality starters in that spot. When one went down, they were able to continue to go and dominate. So yeah, I have no problems keeping him here, and I have no problem keeping him here for that salary. And he's going to make like what $8 million this year or whatever it is. But our starting quarterback is only on a rookie contract. So you're paying like between your two quarterbacks, you're paying $12 million
Right.
for your number one and your number two quarterback total, somewhere along those lines. That
Take advantage.
yeah, take advantage of that. So you only have like $12 million,
Yeah.
give or take, wrapped up into your quarterbacks. I'm fine with that. And Mitch Trubisky, he's a proven starter. He proved that he can come in and play.
I
I
agree.
have no problem with it. Why everyone wants to get rid of him? Like who gonna get to back him up? Probably gonna have to pay the same amount or more to get if you want someone better than him. You're
Yeah.
gonna pay more, or
No.
you're gonna pay less and get someone who's worse. And then what if happens if Kenny goes down? What are you gonna do then? Then the season's over.
Yeah. No, you're right. I couldn't agree with you more. Like it would be wise to keep Mitch around. He already knows the system. He knows the playbooks. He's came in and played meaningful games for this team, regular season
Mm-hmm.
games, and you know what I mean. If they would go the other route, you have to kind of start over in a sense. And two, uh, Mike, what about from Mitch's view? Where does because like you just mentioned, the money would be a big thing because
Mm-hmm.
you're paying your two quarterbacks, your one and two, $12 million total. What's going on through Mitch's mind though? Because Mitch wasn't too thrilled as the season went on. They brought him in under one pretense, and other things didn't
Yeah.
happen that way. Where's Mitch's head now? We know what Rooney's head is saying.
Mm-hmm.
What does Mitch's head say?
Maybe God, take a look at the quarterback market, see what's out there, and see, hey, if team needs a starting quarterback and they're not going to go out and get one in the draft, hey, do you guys want to try and work out a trade? See what you can get for me. Hey, or can you give me my release or something along those lines? That's about
Yeah,
all his recourses he has is to either ask for a trade or ask for a release based on what the quarterback market would be, or if he's comfortable in his role here and in his abilities and thinking, hey, I'm one injury away from getting back in, or a
yeah,
couple bad games from this quarterback from coming in. Now, me personally, you pay me my money, I'll sit here, I'll be your number two quarterback.
yeah.
I'll hold your clipboard, I'll talk to him on the sideline,
Mitch wants to
but I'll be
play.
ready
Mitch
to
came
go.
here under the impression he was
And
going to
he was
be
going to play.
starting.
Yeah.
I that's what I'm saying. Rooney's awfully confident, and
Mm-hmm.
it's. I think at this point he would be the perfect guy to keep as a backup. But on the other hand, like I said,
Yeah.
you got to think from behind his eyes because maybe he doesn't want to stand around and hold a clipboard. It's going to be interesting, Mike. And on the other hand, you don't want to get to the point where we're saying, well, let me give you more money, more money, more money,
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of going against having that really good deal of this one and
Yeah.
two where we're getting basically away for nothing. So I think Mitch is going to be an interesting decision to make down the road here, Mike,
Yeah.
along with a bunch of other guys. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to be going on as far as free agency,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. Um,
Because
Mike,
he's real quick. I'm just looking at his base salary is 8 million. Total cap hit is 10.6 million. And then Kenny
okay,
is, if this thing will load, Kenny's total cap hit is, let's round it up, 3.2.
yeah,
So you're like 13, $14 million for a quarterback.
yeah.
Uh,
Some people pay,
that's fine. That's fine. I
some
have
people
no
pay a lot
problem with
more
that.
than that for a starting quarterback that isn't worth a damn. That they have no,
Mm-hmm.
no, you know what I mean, no chance. I like it. I hope he sticks around. Like I said, the Roonies are awfully confident. Mike, I do have one more thing. A couple of things. I want to do something here before we get to the end of the show today. Something a
Yeah.
little different. Mike, I want to go down through. I want to know who. I want to know who your MVP of the Steelers was this year. I want to know who you thought was the best
Hmm.
offensive player, who's the best defensive player, who the biggest surprise and the biggest disappointment was on this Pittsburgh Steelers team in these last 10 minutes. So let's get it started, Mike. Let's start from the bottom of the list. Who was your biggest disappointment on this Pittsburgh Steelers team in the 22 season, Mike? Your biggest disappointment?
Hmm.
Somebody that just disappointed you. Somebody that you thought to yourself, oh my, I'm so disappointed in them.
Wow. That's a good one. Deontay Johnson. I know it's going to be easy to say Devin Bush, but I didn't have high expectations for him.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to have to go with yeah, Deontay Johnson. This guy. My God, he has all the talent in the world.
Mm,
You'd think this would be the year he would put it all together.
right.
1,200 yards, 10 to 12 touchdowns, complete package, and he was not it.
I'm not going to pile on Deontay, but I agree with you, Mike. That would be my pick as well. I
Mhm.
think when your number one gets zero, here's the thing: if the guy was out 10 games, that would be a whole different story. He played a lot. Whether he had a
Yeah,
couple injuries in the middle there, where that doesn't mean anything. You play
yeah.
an extra game now, so
Hmm.
you have an extra game. He got no touchdowns at all. I mean, at some point that becomes you have to make it happen and get something done because, like I said, as rough as it was a season to have quarterback wise and everything that we had going on, these other guys still found ways to find the end zone.
Yep,
That comes on you. If you're number one, you have to at some point make plays.
yep.
Mike, is my biggest disappointment as well. Who is your biggest surprise? Who is you most delighted for this on this football team, Mike?
Hmm. Oh, wow. That's another good one. Thinking here, who biggest surprise? Biggest surprise. George Pickens. Because
Mm,
he's the guy who came in with all the hype, all the expectations. Everyone was talking him up. Normally, when you get someone like that, everyone's all hyped for it. They tend to be average or like they don't wow you. This guy wowed every
yeah.
time he was given the opportunity. He wowed and he stepped up. So
My
yeah.
biggest surprise, you say GP. Mike, I'm going to go with Jalen Warren. And for this reason and
Ooh.
this reason only, he was able to step in and fill that role every time he was called
Hmm.
on. When Najee was out, when they were running a tandem with the two guys, when they had extra guys,
Yeah.
anytime that Jalen Warren touched that ball, it was always purpose.
Yes.
It was always productive. We put him in situations in close games to get short yards. We put him in situations out in the wing to catch passes. Mike, there was so many things that this guy did during the season that really wowed me. And he's not a wow player.
No.
He's a Heinz Ward kind of guy, in my opinion. He's a tough guy. He's gonna
Hmm.
get up. He's gonna smack you. Then he's gonna get up and smile in your face. That's what I like about him. He was my biggest surprise overall, Mike, and
Yes.
the biggest delight for me seeing somebody just come out of nowhere and have that
Yeah,
kind of season.
I can't believe I forgot about Jalen Warren. Oh, shame on me for 6 weeks.
Yeah, Mike, the best defensive player, best defensive player on this team this season. Who would you have to go with?
God, that's easy. Minka Fitzpatrick.
Minka.
Minka, yeah, yeah. What led the team and tied for the league lead in interceptions, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly. Or I know he was up there. Yeah, this guy was all over the place, game in, game out. Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick without a doubt.
Best defensive player, and I'm not going to be correct, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just taking somebody else because I don't want to take Minka as well. I
You
thought,
can't.
Mike, that Okunjobi played very well.
Ooh,
I
that's a good
really
one.
liked watching him play football, and every time I turned around, he was involved in tackles, backfield rush. I mean, we didn't get to the. It's wild. Our defense is rough, which is wild, which was a conversation for a whole other day. But
Yeah,
what he was able to do, Mike, I was really impressed. He was my favorite, best defensive player on the team this year. Okunjobi.
yeah. I put him up there. He helped solidify that defensive line. My God,
He did what he was needed to do. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
came in, he did his job, he was productive. I liked him. I didn't,
Yeah. Me
coming from
too.
Cincinnati and Cleveland, I thought, hey, what are we getting?
Yeah.
Very, very, very. I liked him a lot. I liked him a
Real
lot.
quick, I just like to see him in a Baltimore uniform next year. That way he can complete the AFC
Yeah,
North portion of his career.
absolutely. Best offensive player of the year, Mike.
Hmm. Wow. Best offensive player?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go totally off the board here and go James Daniels,
Okay,
guard.
that's fair.
He helped solidify that offensive line. He came over from the Bears. Oh my God, the dude in pass blocking is insane. If run blocking is very well. I think he's the anchor on that offensive line. Normally, your anchor's your center, but I think on this unit, it is James Daniels. He was that steadying influence on everyone on that line. He consistently game in and game out. He impressed every game.
My offensive player, Mike, my best offensive player of the year for the Steelers is going to be Pat Freiermuth. I think
Another
despite
good
all the
pick.
problems we had with the passing game, the inconsistencies with quarterbacks, and he is still able to be in the position where you could say in his first two seasons, he is the only, besides one other tight end in the history of the game, person tight end to have plus 60 catches. I think that without a shadow of doubt in my mind puts him in the best offensive player of the year. Pat Freiermuth is mine. Mike says James Daniel, which is a good pick as well. You don't expect people to go with the offensive line when they're doing this, but I like that. I like that, Mike. You're breaking the mold, man.
Well, we saw in that game, that Philadelphia game against the Niners, how dominant that offensive line was, and how they were able to just neutralize their front four. Bosa, did he even play in this game? They just washed him out.
Yeah.
They washed him out, and offensive lines are very very important.
And finally, Mike, to wrap it up, who is your team MVP? Your Pittsburgh Steelers MVP of the 2022 season? Mike, we can only pick one. Who's it going to be?
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Minka?
Minka, to me, he was the most consistent player from game in, game out. Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I think I give it to Minka. Minka was the MVP. I think he's the front runner for sure. He's the leading All Pro vote getter in his
Mm-hmm.
position. He had the most interceptions. You can't go against him, even if you want to.
You
And I
can't.
wanted to, just so we both didn't pick the same guy. But at the end
He's
of the day,
just
when it
that
comes
good.
down
You
to,
can't do that.
he's the guy. So there you have it, everybody. There you have that segment of the best of. We had this biggest disappointment, surprise, best offensive and defensive players, and the MVP of this team this year, Mike. So
Yes. The
that was a lot of
MVP of the
fun.
podcast is popping his little head in.
There he is. There's the MVP of the podcast. Mike, you want to go and tell everybody about the website?
Yes, twodumyinzers.com, the number two, DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have links to everything you need: YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, the three main platforms where you can find us, especially if you go to Anchor, you click on that RSS feed, you'll find us wherever you need us.
There you go, everybody. Go check it out. Mike, great job as always. We are live every day from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here. You can check us out. Man, I can't wait till the weather warms up, Mike. I'm phlegmy, the whole thing. Um, but yes, the show that we do today will be uploaded this evening, 8 o'clock every day. That show we do that day, it gets uploaded at 8 o'clock in the evening over on Spotify. If you only have time to listen or maybe put it on your way to work, things like that in the car, check it out over on Spotify. Mike, we do have a little bit of time. Do you want to try to knock out a Super Bowl trivia for the day?
Yeah, let's do one real quick here.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this. What team holds the record for forcing the most turnovers in a Super Bowl? Which team holds the record for forcing the most turnovers in a Super Bowl game? Is the trivia of the day. Of course, it's a Super Bowl trivia leading us up to the Super Bowl. Mike, I'm going to give you the numbers first, okay?
Okay.
And then you give me a team. What team holds the record for forcing the most turnovers in a Super Bowl? The numbers are this: 4 interceptions and five forced fumbles. Total of 9. Mike, 9
85
forced
Bears.
turnovers in a Super Bowl game, and you say the 85 Bears,
Yes.
good guess. I got to give you that. It's incorrect, however. Like the game that I'm talking about would be the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl 27 over the Buffalo Bills. It was, I
Ooh.
don't recall if that was the first or second of that back-to-back quarterback
Yeah.
or Super Bowl run between those two teams. But Mike, they forced them to nine
That's
turnovers,
insane.
four interceptions, five fumbles. I mean, did Buffalo do anything? That's not, nine
No,
possessions.
that's bad, man. That's half a season for most teams.
Yeah. So there you have that. Mike, do you have anything before we take off for today, man?
No, no, no. I got nothing. Hopefully soon we'll be back live.
Yes, people. Things are getting back to normal. Like I said, we are kind of going through a little turbulence with the technical issues of the show, but we're gonna get it all squared away. I'm gonna go beat my head in the wall for a couple hours, and things are gonna be okay tomorrow. And if they're not, we'll continue, rinse, repeat, whatever, and we will, we'll get it all. We'll get
We'll
it,
get
man.
it.
We'll get it.
We'll get it. We'll get it there someday.
But hey, for Ryan, Mike, the two Dum Yins, we appreciate everybody watching as always, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.